How can they afford it? Daisy's world was a quiet, predictable one. As a high school teacher in a regular neighborhood, she lived a responsible, albeit modest, life. Yet, a silent, corrosive envy gnawed at her. Her colleagues, a clique of 5 she privately referred to as the glamorous girls, seemed to live a life of endless luxury. They flaunted their designer clothes, drove expensive cars, and filled their social media feeds with glamorous vacations and extravagant dinners. Their hushed gossip about other people, those with old cars and repetitive outfits, made it clear that Daisy was on the outside looking in. A single burning question consumed Daisy's thoughts. How could they afford it? She and her engineer husband earned a solid income, but after accounting for taxes, their mortgage, savings, and everyday expenses, there wasn't much left for luxuries. The numbers didn't add up, and the disparity filled her with a despair so deep it sometimes brought her to tears. She even felt a fleeting temptation to abandon her family's careful budget just for a taste of the high life she saw them enjoying. But a sense of guilt always held her back. She knew her approach was the right one, even if it felt painfully unfair. Then, in a single jaw-dropping week, Daisy's lesson arrived. The glamorous club came crashing down, revealing the shaky foundations of their lavish lives. The illusion of a perfect life, so carefully constructed by the glamorous girls, came crashing down with a series of dramatic revelations that exposed the shaky foundations of their extravagant lifestyles. What appeared to be success was, in reality, a house of cards built on debt, deceit, and desperation. The week of reckoning. The first crack in the facade appeared with Sophia. Her expensive car and designer wardrobe weren't symbols of wealth, but of crippling debt. It turned out that she had accumulated so much debt that it would take years of a humble life to pay it off. She was forced to sell her most prized possessions, a public and humiliating dismantling of the life she had so proudly showcased. Next came the disappearance of Delilah. Known as the group's self-proclaimed diva, she suddenly stopped coming to school. It turned out that her lavish lifestyle, fueled by private boat parties and extravagant outings, was funded by her husband's shady business dealings. When the law began to close in, they fled in the dead of night, their glamorous life vanishing as quickly as it had been built. Their escape confirmed that their prosperity was not just a performance, but a criminal enterprise. The downfall of Linda, the constant traveler, was equally shocking. She was apprehended at the airport after her husband fled the country. He had been secretly embezzling money from his firm, using the stolen funds to fund their endless vacations and luxurious trips. Linda, seemingly the beneficiary of a life of leisure, was left to face the consequences alone, her life of adventure revealed as a product of greed and betrayal. Then there was Gabriella, the digital influencer who seemed to have it all. Her carefully curated social media feeds, filled with exotic locations and high-fashion outfits, were not a reflection of her reality, but a calculated illusion. She had spent her family's entire savings to create a fake online persona, desperately chasing fame and fortune that never materialized. She was left with nothing but regret, realizing that likes and online validation couldn't pay for a secure future. Finally, Candice, the single mother who had always seemed to afford designer brands effortlessly, was exposed in a most pathetic light. Security caught her shoplifting. The expensive clothes and accessories weren't something she could afford, but something she stole, driven by the intense pressure to keep up with a fabricated lifestyle. Her desperate act was a powerful final lesson. proving that the desire to impress others could lead a person to do something as foolish and self-destructive as theft. In the end, the Glamorous Club wasn't a group of successful women, but a collection of cautionary tales. They taught Daisy that the most dangerous form of poverty is not financial, but a poverty of character. The collapse of the Glamorous Club was a brutal but invaluable lesson for Daisy. She realized that the perfect lives she envied were just a carefully constructed illusion. Each woman had sacrificed security, integrity, and peace of mind for temporary social validation and a false sense of success. Daisy came to understand that true wealth isn't measured in designer bags or exotic trips, but in stability, honesty, and a clear conscience. As she reflected on the chaos, she finally understood her husband's simple wisdom. Happiness comes from within, it's not on display. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe for more. Yours, the Counselor, SFTG.